How's it going, everyone? Wanted to make a video about these water pumps here. Today we're going to be looking at the Milwaukie M18 water pump, water transfer pump, and the hybrid 18 volt from Ryobi water transfer pump. So right off the bat, as far as weight, the ryobi comes in a little bit lighter than this Milwaukie, but that might be because I got a huge battery in there, 12.0. Oh no, what was that, 9.0? And then here I've only got a 1.5 amp, I think. Yeah, this guy's always kind of tricky to open with one hand. Let me see. There we go. See, it's got a 1.5 amp in there, so it's pretty light with that. I've only got 2 of those batteries for it that I got from Home Depot. And then this one I run with this 9.0 and a 12.0 high demand battery. I just ordered a 9.0 high demand battery for this Ryobi because it's a good pump, but I needed to run longer, just so I could run 2 watering stations at once on my farm, and that's what I use these for. They're mainly meant for plumbers, I guess. They're like maybe in the range of 300 to 400 gallons per hour, and with the batteries, that's what I've been kind of getting out of each of them. They're not even meant for agriculture, but I use them, it kind of like a MacGyvered irrigation system on my farm. And I pump water across, with the Ryobi I could probably pump water across 300 feet of drip line to like over, I don't know, a couple hundred, well, not a couple hundred, maybe 80 to 100 plants or trees. And with the Milwaukie I could probably go, I don't know, maybe 700 feet. So it has higher pressure, that's for sure. Although at a close range, just kind of like pumping out of a truck into like something else, they're pretty similar in capacity. But this one, I guess, maybe pumps more air as it's intaking water. This pump I really like because it has brass connections here, so you can hook them up into whatever you're like, say you're a plumber, you could hook up your hose here to your water heater, and then you can put this connection with another hose 100 feet away outside of the house, like if it was on the 2nd floor or 1st floor, anywhere really. Same thing with this guy, except the valves are plastic. I haven't really found them to be a big issue. I've had the pump for like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months now. The Milwaukie I've had for like almost a year, and it's doing super well. The brass connections are doing real well, and they look real sturdy. They're coming off of this metal connection here, as you can see, whereas the Ryobi is all kind of like this plastic. That's where like the inlet and outlet is. The Milwaukie is a simple pump. It just has an on and off, and then you insert the battery in here, and you close it back up so it doesn't get any water in there. It's kind of watertight, but you have to have that lid on. And then you can see if you have any jams in here. Like I was pumping out of a container that had a bunch of dead bees. It had a bunch of water too, so it was sucking a bunch of bees and getting stuck here. But you'll see the bees here, and you can just tap it out. So that's a cool thing that the ryobi doesn't have. I wish this was clear here instead of advertising ryobi. And then it tells you this cool arrow on the Milwaukee. You know, right here, it's maybe actually a little bit better because it explains it for somebody that, you know, maybe it's a little bit more, you know, let's say noobish, has the inlet and outlet, you know. So this will be where you connect wherever you're getting water from, and this is where you want it to go. And, you know, Milwaukee's kind of similar, except it goes out to the sides instead of going out vertically at 45s. The ryobi has a, you know, simple on-off switch. One thing I do like is it has like little light sensors that tell you when the pump's running dry, overloading, you know, motor over temperature, which in the desert it can happen, although that hasn't happened to me yet. That's what it's meant for. I like this sensor because sometimes I'm not at the pump, so it'll alert me, or my dad. You know, you can kind of hear it now. I've kind of accustomed myself to hear it with either of these. They make a distinct sound when they're not pumping water and they're pumping straight air. And they'll do that, but it's bad for the pump, obviously, so you want to do it or shut off the pump as quick as possible. This ryobi is pretty cool because it's kind of meant to be placed on a wall. So I've been thinking, you know, I might build one of these for the Milwaukee so I can have them on the farm, nailed to a wall in an irrigation system, you know, and maybe have some type of like, I don't know, like robotic arm or something, just pushing buttons, kind of like a valve would. And I wouldn't have to be watering stuff. I could just have it on automatic timer, you know, maybe with like an Arduino, or, you know, I'll figure out some system. I've dropped this pump quite a few times, the Milwaukee. It's pretty sturdy. I have not dropped the ryobi yet, but you know, I think it would hold up, but I'm not too sure, you know, because it has a lot of plastic encasing. I do like how the Milwaukee back here is all encased, the battery, whereas the ryobi has this portion back here where water could get in, I guess, if it was on the ground, you know, and it's back flowing. So that's kind of one thing I don't like. Both these pumps are really good pumps overall. You know, if I had to get only one, I'd probably go with the Milwaukee. It's $200, and I think the ryobi is $200. But the Milwaukee seems a little bit better built, even though the ryobi has cool sensors. And oh, one thing about the ryobi is in the back here where this battery is, it has a connection. Oh man, it's kind of hard to open, like I was saying, but it has a connection right here where the battery is that you can hook in with a cord. So if you're at home or something, or somewhere with electricity, or even if you have like a, you know, a generator or something, you can plug it in and not use the battery. So that's one thing I actually wish the Milwaukee had. I wish all the stuff like these sensors and that plug, the Milwaukee had it, and the Milwaukee was, you know, the sturdiness of it, the ryobi had it. Obviously, the ryobi is, you know, they're pretty innovative, you know, brand, but, you know, they're not recognized being the best brand. But, you know, it's holding its own against the Milwaukee. We'll see how it does long term, you know. The first 3 months it's doing real amazing. Only thing I've noticed is it's less pump power than the Milwaukee, and I think I bought it for $200 too. So you know, I kind of expected a little bit more out of them, but not really at the same time because it's ryobi. Not hating on them, but, you know, it's just, that's kind of the consensus with people, and I don't think it would be if you know, they hadn't failed them in one sense or another at a time. But it's a really good pump overall, like I said. I like giving different brands tries, and it definitely impressed me, that's for sure. It's just not better than Milwaukee. But yeah, this Milwaukee you can place like that. That's one cool option of it. I think that's it for these pumps right here. Real sturdy pumps for any agriculture, plumbing, any type of water transfer. I've heard people using the Milwaukee to transfer oil, and like in agriculture, it works fine. I don't know about the ryobi, how it hold up, transporting oil. Haven't heard any confirmed stories with that one. But yeah, if you were thinking about getting yourself one of these, if you're a plumber or a farmer, definitely a cool little handy tool. So you don't have to be carrying around like huge, water pump that's gas powered or something like that. If you got huge operations, obviously you need gas powered stuff, but if you're just small time farmer like me, you can get by with these pumps, for a lot of stuff. And for plumbing, these are like overkill, like in an hour you can pump 300 gallons plus with either of these, and empty out, I don't know, a water heater, even if it's 100 gal, in like 15 minutes or something, 20 minutes tops. Have a good one.